All right, welcome in everyone. Today we're doing a deep dive into something you might not expect, Scrum.
Scrum, yeah.
You usually think software development, right? But we're going beyond that.
Way beyond.
This thing is everywhere. Classrooms, marketing, even wedding planning, it's wild.
It's really interesting how versatile it is.
Mhm.
And what's funny is a lot of people don't know this, but it actually comes from Japanese manufacturing, like think Toyota, Honda, those companies.
Exactly. Our main source for this deep dive is an interview with Jeff Sutherland, the co-creator of Scrum.
Yeah.
He talked about how it was inspired by these knowledge management gurus, Nonaka and Takuchi.
Right. Those guys studied those Japanese companies we were just talking about.
And what they found, these companies were already like revolutionizing how they did things with lean principles,
Yeah, totally. And Scrum basically took those insights and said, how do we use this for more complex stuff, for creative work?
Which makes total sense, right? That explains why we see it in so many different fields. And Sutherland's interview, packed with real-world examples, like one that blew my mind, a war correspondent.
Wow.
Used Scrum to manage his team during the Egyptian Revolution.
No way.
Filing stories from Tahrir Square, can you imagine the pressure?
Intense.
But amidst all that chaos, they won every major journalism award that year.
That says a lot about how Scrum can help teams thrive in those crazy situations, high pressure, unpredictable.
Totally. It's not just those high-stakes situations either. Sutherland mentioned it being used in finance, marketing, even education. It's crazy.
It really is. And I think the takeaway here is that Scrum, at its core, it's adaptable. Whether you're building an app or, like you said, planning wedding, it's about breaking down those big goals into manageable pieces, working in short bursts and constantly adjusting, based on feedback.
So it's agility, but not just in a software sense, in a broader sense, being able to roll with the punches. Speaking of adapting, I was using this digital task management tool to plan a vacation recently. And it's funny, it really reminded me of some of the Scrum stuff we're talking about.
Interesting. What do you mean?
Like prioritizing things, visualizing progress. It clicked,
You were kind of doing Scrum without even realizing it.
I guess so. But back to the interview. Sutherland talks a lot about what makes teams great. And it's not just technical skills, right?
Definitely not. He talks about these three things: transcendence, autonomy, and cross-functionality. Transcendence. That's about having a goal that really inspires the team, like more than just checking boxes.
Yeah, a shared purpose, something
Yeah.
bigger to rally behind. Got it. And autonomy, what's that about?
Autonomy is letting teams decide how to reach those goals, trusting their expertise, letting them make decisions.
Makes sense. So, and cross-functionality, I'm guessing that means having a team with a mix of skills, different perspectives.
You got it. Bringing people with different strengths together so they collaborate and learn from each other.
Interesting. I like that.
Sutherland uses the example of the team that developed the Toyota Prius, their big goal, making a truly eco-friendly car.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one for sure.
It was, and they were given a lot of freedom to figure out how to do it. The team, engineers, designers, marketing people, all working together, learning from each other.
That's interesting. So that mix of skills plus the freedom to experiment, that's how they came up with something truly innovative.
Exactly. And, that leads us to another point Sutherland made that I found super interesting. It's the link between happiness and high performance. He argues that happy teams, they're just more productive.
Really? Is there a way to actually measure that, like happiness in a team setting?
There is. At Scrum Inc., they use something called a happiness metric. Basically, teams regularly check in on how they're feeling, what's affecting their well-being, and then they work together to address those things.
So what does that look like? Do they rate their mood on a scale or?
It's a bit more nuanced than that. It's about actively identifying and addressing the things that are dragging the team down. And get this, they saw a 400% increase in output.
Wow, 400%. That's insane. So there really is something to this whole happiness productivity connection.
There is. It's a reminder that creating a positive work environment, it's not just about being nice. It's about helping people do their best work.
I like that. So even small changes to boost morale can have a big impact. It's a great takeaway for our listeners.